Hi guys, Ian and Matt from footballboots.co.uk, and today we're going to be talking about these boots. You want to know the differences. These are not the ones that you are seeing in retail. They are not the ones that you can buy. They are a bit different, if you can tell the difference. What's the difference, Matt?
Well, the difference is that it doesn't actually feature that exposed near tongue area like we found on the 16 Plus Purecontrol. And like Ian said, these aren't the ones that you're going to be able to buy, but there's actually a few Premier League players who are wearing this version. There's Paul Pogba, there's also Dele Alli, and is it Juan Mata? So they're the three players who are actually wearing this version.
As well, he's got them too. So.
And Mesut Ozil. So it's a bit of an interesting one and a big topic. So we're going to talk you through the point of why Adidas may have actually changed it.
Yeah, so we're going to get into the details. We've got a couple of videos. One is an unboxing of these boots. These are the Pro boots. We're going to be unboxing these as we chat so you can see details of those. And we're also going to be comparing them to an unboxing of the actual retail release with the sock part on the top so you can see all the differences. And we're going to try and break down and explain to you some of the reasons why it happened. We don't know specifically why Adidas decided to do it or what perhaps is going to happen on the next release. Are they going to bring out a sock one, or is it going to be like this? Maybe you can get what the pros are wearing. And that's one of the things. It's like, why can't you buy what the pros are wearing? And we're going to get into some of the differences and the reasons why. So there has been some rumours, there was some talk that there was going to be another release on the line. So you've got Master Control written on the sock liner of these, and there was some talk, and perhaps there is still going to happen, maybe like a Pogba release or something, a special Master Control version of the Pure Controls. We thought maybe this would be the Master Control, and then the ones with the sock would be the still regular Pure Control. It seems a bit strange to have so many variations, but Adidas have been making a lot of variations of boots recently, so... Absolutely,
so obviously last season Paul Pogba was given a special pair of black and gold Pure Control, the 16 Plus. Now there's been talk that he's going to receive a new pair, the 17 Plus Pure Control, in another Pogba kind of fashion, black and gold. So it'll be interesting to see whether he gets this version and they do brand it as a Master Control rather than just a Pure Control. So that's definitely an interesting point, but the big talking point is obviously about this knitting material that kind of creates that tongue for the boot.
Yeah, so the players, Pogba was testing, before these came out, he tested out a blackout pair, and they were these ones without the sock part on it, and yeah, all the players have gone on and they're wearing these ones without the sock part, and it's kind of, why have they dropped the sock part? Matt, you're actually a bit of a fan of the sock part of it, really? The
sock part this time, so we've obviously cut the collar on this 16.1 Prime knit, but it was just a little bit too loose to me. Like on this Pure Control, it didn't hug around my ankle as tightly as I wanted, so what Adidas have done, they've made it into a more of a tech fit material compared to that Prime knit, and it actually creates a much better fit around your ankle, a bit tighter and a little bit tighter than what you'll find on Nike's Dynamic Fit Cut, which is a great thing, so you feel a little bit more locked down.
So with the sock part, it can get quite dirty, it can be a bit of a pain to clean. You might have seen our cleaning videos on these. This one with the upper like this is going to be much easier to keep clean. It's going to be pretty white clean for most of it, and then you can clean the top of it normally. But it does mean that you might be able to see like a white sock part, which you haven't seen in any of the Pure Controls before, so we might see some white Pure Controls coming up. But let's talk a little bit about what is the difference between like the 17.1s and with the Prime knit, and then this version. Like, we pulled the socks out here. Would they be the same?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting point. So it talks about the cosmetic differences, but what about the actual performance? So we've taken the laces out of the 17.1 Prime knit. So how does that actually compare to the 17 Plus Pure Control? Now the biggest difference is that inside of the 17 Plus Pure Control, you get an inner strap, and it's almost like a band that wraps around your foot, and it's there to make sure that you get lockdown and responsiveness, which are two of the biggest factors with any kind of boot purchase. Now the 17.1 Prime knit doesn't actually feature that. There's no strap inside of the boot, and that's because it has laces. So that does the job for it. And also on the outside of the 17 Plus Pure Control, you can see that very aggressive and quite prominent external structure, which again makes sure the foot is locked down. So it kind of does the job of laces, but without having laces. Now what it really comes down to is that what boot is for you. Now, I do like the boost technology of the Pure Control, but I think that I love the laces of the 17.1 Prime knit. So if I was given a choice, I'd probably still go for the laced up version because I love that, but I do like the boost technology.
Yeah, and that's one of the differences, is if you do get the Prime knits, then you don't get the boost in the sole. Some of you have been wondering, 17.1 Prime knits, do they have boost? And the answer is no, they don't. You have to get the Pure Control if you want the boost. One interesting thing, could we add laces to this? What do you think? If I maybe punched a few holes, added a little external cover, do you think we should make a laced version? Do you think it's necessary? It shouldn't be, because it's got the wrap on the inside, so it shouldn't be necessary, but maybe one day if we're feeling creative we could do it. Let us know in the comments if you want us to do that. Add some laces to the Pure Controls. So one of the really interesting things is the indoor variations. So now you can get a turf version of the Pure Control, you can get an indoor version of the Pure Control, and they have this upper. So it has been released, it is being used, but just not currently on the Pure Controls, which is really strange.
So it's very interesting, because I mean, it is like, so if you look at the boot that way, that is exactly what you'll see on the turf variation, and also on the indoors.
You wouldn't necessarily be able to tell what boot we're talking about if we were holding it like that. But
so the difference comes from where the boot version has that boost technology all throughout that sole plate and also on the sock liner. The indoor and turf just have it at that heel region.
yeah, I'm not sure whether internally perhaps there's actually a little bit more that you don't see, but the prominent bit which you do see is there.
Just on that heel.
I mean, and they're both going to have them in the soft liner. That's another place where they're using the boosters in the sock liner on the indoor and the turf as well, so it's just a little bit extra comfort. I mean, it's going to make a really comfortable indoor boot. We should get a pair coming in quite soon and we'll try and make a test and review of those. I'll definitely be wearing them for 5-side, they should be good.
So apart from the actual cosmetic difference, is there any kind of difference in terms of how the boots fit compared to the first gen Purecontrol and the second? Now, one problem with this first generation Purecontrol is that it might have fit a little bit loose inside of the boot because the knitted material wasn't as stretchy as what you'll find on this Tech Fit. Trust me, the Tech Fit feeling of this 17 Plus Purecontrol really does wrap your foot a little bit tighter than what you'll find on that 16 Plus, and there was a little bit of heel slippage in that boot, which you might not get from this one.
Yeah, exactly, that's right, there was heel slippage and it was a bit of an issue. Some people even ended up putting like an extra sock liner in just to get themselves a little bit of a better fit. This is going to be one of the good things with this version, so hopefully it does come to retail. You guys can get your hands on it soon, maybe in the updated colorways that are coming out this start of 2017. It really is a much better fit, a much more secure fit, and I think over time what some people found is this material would stretch, and so you'd play and you'd like it for a while and then it would become more and more of an issue to wear. This one, it should maintain its shape and it should just stay with that nice close fit throughout your whole time of wearing them for a full season or however long you end up wearing them for. So what do we think is the truth about these boots? Why has this happened?
Well, what I personally think is that the players like Paul, Pogba, Dele Alli and also Juan Mata were given these kind of prototype sample boots months before they actually were released, so they were fully broken in, they got used to this kind of new Tech Fit material, so they wanted them to play in the Premier League because they were used to that material.
I think that's it. If you offer somebody a boot which is that bit better, they're not going to say, oh no, can we go back to the previous one please? They're going to want to play in what they've got. And there's a lot of players, you might have seen our Shock and Truth video, there's a lot of players who are wearing things that are slightly different than what you're seeing in retail. And pretty much most people aren't going to know. Like, you're watching this video, you know, you may have already noticed, you know about boots, but a lot of people don't, and nobody would really tell the difference if Pogba was wearing these or if he was wearing the other ones. Like, you just can't tell from a distance. It's like Neymar and his finishes or his vapors and all that kind of stuff. Like, most people don't know, so they can get away with it. And I think maybe in the next release, maybe it isn't unsurprising from Adidas to be making changes within boots. So yeah, let's talk a little bit just really quickly about these Pure Chaoses. So they've been changing the upper on the Pure Chaoses, as we've been telling you, throughout the whole range. Every single release has been different.
Every single one.
And it happened with the Superflies. I think the Superfly 4s, there was an issue with something that was going on with the Superfly 4s from Nike. They were changing the upper as they came out, when they brought out their first kind of Footblex Proximos and things like that. They were changing things. So just because it's a generational change doesn't mean that there won't be something dramatic perhaps change with the boot within. It's just the way that they title them and push them through, but you can see big changes in technology on boots. So don't be surprised if you do find that the next release ends up having some good stuff going on with the upper for you in retail.
So that's about it. That pretty much wraps up the video. Don't be surprised if this boot here comes out as like a modification of this 17 Plus Purecontrol, or if it even comes out as this 17 Plus Mask Control. So that's what we could see. It could be two variations in the upcoming releases.
Yeah, so guys, stay tuned to the channel because we are going to do a playtest which features these boots. We're going to be showing you the Pro version of the Purecontrols in a playtest. We will be putting them up against the Prime Knits as a little test just for some fun. That video will be coming to the channel soon, so make sure you're subscribed. Go check out one of our recent videos, especially our Christmas competition if you haven't already. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Go enjoy football.